That night, or what they guessed was night, they built no fire. They sat in the dark, listening. The air was warm here, humid, clinging to their skin. Hunger twisted their bellies. Thirst cracked their lips, but worse than either was the sound. Mira tried to sleep, but whispers filled her dreams. Eli's voice, calling her name. Her brother's voice, long dead. Jonas's voice, begging her to stay. When she woke, Silas was gone. Jonas rose instantly, shotgun ready. Tracks, he hissed, pointing to prints in the frost. They followed through winding tunnels, hearts hammering. The tracks led to another chamber, smaller, the walls dripping with condensation. Silas stood in the center, axe in hand, facing the frost-veined wall. He turned as they entered, his eyes hollow. "It showed me," he whispered, "how it ends." His lips curled into something between a smile and a grimace. "We don't escape. We don't survive. We join. That's all." Jonas raised the shotgun. "Step away." Silas's smile widened. "Shoot me, and it takes you faster." The wall behind him pulsed. Frost cracked, splitting to reveal pale fingers pressing outward. Mira screamed. Jonas fired. The blast shattered Silas's chest. He staggered, blood spraying, eyes wide with something like relief. He collapsed, twitching, his axe clattering to the ground. The wall split further. Hands tore free, clawing at the air. "Run!" Jonas roared. They fled again, leaving Silas's body behind as pale arms dragged it into the frost. His scream echoed down the tunnels, then cut off. They collapsed hours later, huddled in a narrow shaft where the walls pressed close. Only 3 remained: Jonas, Mira, Kara. Jonas stared at the dark, his face pale, his shotgun trembling. Mira clutched the lantern, its light weak, her stomach hollow, her throat raw. Kara smiled faintly, blood dripping from her cracked lips. 3 left, 2 to breathe, 1 to feed. Her laughter echoed in the tunnels, rising and falling with the city's endless breath. Mira pressed her hands to her ears, rocking in the dark. But the sound was inside her now. She couldn't tell if she was hearing the city or if she was breathing for it. Chapter 6, The Last Fires. They didn't speak for hours. The 3 of them moved through the tunnels like ghosts, their lantern burning lower with every step. Jonas walked ahead, shotgun cradled in his arms, shoulders stiff. Mira kept close behind, the lantern clutched like a heartbeat. Kara drifted in the rear, humming to herself, smiling at walls that pulsed faintly with frost veins. Silas's screams still lingered in Myra's ears. The way the frost swallowed him, the way his voice bent into the breathing until it wasn't his anymore. She couldn't stop hearing it, couldn't stop thinking. Would she sound like that when it took her? Because it would. Jonas was wrong, Silas was wrong, Kara was wrong. They were all wrong. The truth was simple, undeniable. The city had no escape. The air grew warmer the deeper they went. Water dripped steadily from the ceiling, pooling black in cracks along the tiles. Every droplet landed in rhythm with the breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. The lantern guttered, almost dying, before Mira shook it back to life. Jonas glanced over his shoulder. Fuel's running low. Mira swallowed. How long? Hours. Maybe less. Kara laughed softly. Doesn't matter. It wants the dark anyway. Jonas's jaw clenched. He turned back without answering. They stopped in a junction where 4 tunnels split. Each yawning mouth looked the same. Wet, veined, endless. Jonas sank against the wall, shotgun laid across his knees. His hands trembled slightly as he lit a match, the flame flickering weak against the damp air. "We rest here," he said. Mira sat beside him, setting the lantern down between them. Its glow painted Kara in pale orange as she swayed, humming. Jonas broke the silence first. "We can't keep wandering. We need a plan." "What plan?" Myra's voice cracked. "There's no up, no down. Just breathing. Always breathing. We've made it this far," Jonas said, though his tone carried no conviction. If there's a heart, there's a way to kill it. Kara giggled. You think you can kill a mouth that eats cities? A lung bigger than mountains? That's sweet. Shut up. Jonas's voice was flat, deadly. But Kara only smiled wider, her cracked lips splitting until blood dripped down her chin. I'll tell you a secret. It doesn't want to kill us. Not yet. It wants us hollow. It wants us soft. It wants us hungry enough to eat each other first. Myra's stomach churned. She looked away, but the thought rooted deep. Jonas struck another match, lit the edge of his sleeve, and held the flame close for warmth. The faint firelight caught Myra's face. Don't listen to her, he said quietly. She's gone, like Silas. But Mira wasn't sure. She wasn't sure at all. That night, or what felt like night, they tried to sleep. Jonas propped himself against the wall, shotgun in hand, eyes half closed. Mira curled beside the lantern, every muscle tight. Kara didn't sleep. She sat cross-legged, eyes gleaming in the dim glow, whispering to the walls. Sometimes her words slipped into a language Mira couldn't recognize. Liquid, rhythmic, echoing strangely against the frost. Mira forced herself to close her eyes, but the whispers burrowed into her skull, threading into her dreams. She dreamt of Silas, his chest blown open, his blood steaming against the frost veins. Only in the dream, he stood again, smiling, his ribs open wide like arms spread for an embrace. Join me, he whispered. It's easier if you don't fight. When she woke, Kara was crouched beside her, smiling, her cracked lips inches away. You were talking, Kara whispered, saying his name. Mira recoiled. Get away from me. Kara only giggled. He's waiting for you. Jonas stirred, muttered something but didn't wake fully. Mira sat awake the rest of the night, clutching the lantern like it could burn Kara away. The next morning, the lantern finally died. Its flame guttered, smoke curling into the damp air, and darkness swallowed them whole. Myra's chest seized. The dark wasn't empty. It never was. Matches, she whispered. Jonas struck one, the tiny flare trembling in his hands. Its light lasted seconds before burning his fingers. He swore, shaking it out. We've got a few left, he muttered. Not enough. Kara laughed softly. The dark doesn't need light. It has us. Jonas turned on her, eyes blazing in the brief flare of another match. Say one more word. Mira grabbed his arm. Stop. But she wasn't sure why. Maybe because she was afraid of Kara dying. Maybe because she was afraid of Kara living. The match died. They stood in blackness, listening to each other's ragged breathing merge with the city's endless exhale. By the 30th day, hunger broke them. Jonas tried to ration his last scraps of jerky, but Kara snatched one piece, chewing noisily, grinning blood across her teeth. Jonas struck her hard, sending her sprawling. Mira caught his wrist. Stop! She's wasting it. Jonas roared. She's mocking us. She's starving, same as us. Don't you dare defend her. Mira flinched at the venom in his voice. Jonas had been the strong one, the steady one, but now his eyes blazed with the same wildness that had consumed Silas. Jonas, she whispered, please. His chest heaved, his grip loosened, but his gaze lingered on Kara like a wolf eyeing prey. Kara only giggled, blood smeared across her face. You'll break soon. You'll eat her, or she'll eat you. That's the song. Myra's stomach clenched. She wanted to scream, to silence her, but the words rooted deeper with every breath. They wandered blind, Jonas lighting matches one at a time, each flare revealing only frost, veins, and dripping walls. The matches burned their fingers faster now, like the tunnels were sucking the light away. Mira began seeing figures in the dark, shapes shifting just beyond the flame's edge. Faces pressed against the walls, mouths open, eyes wide. She stopped telling Jonas. Stopped telling anyone. Because what if they weren't real? Or worse, what if they were? On the 32nd day, Jonas vanished. Mira woke to silence beside her, The space where Jonas had been was empty, the shotgun gone. Only Kara remained, sitting cross-legged in the dark, smiling faintly. "Where is he?" Mira demanded. Kara shrugged. He went to listen closer. Myra's chest heaved. "You let him go?" Kara's smile widened. "I don't let anything happen. It just happens. That's the way." Mira wanted to hit her, to tear that smile from her face. But something in Kara's eyes stopped her. Something bright, fevered, almost holy. "He'll be back," Kara whispered. "Or he won't. Either way, we're not alone." The walls pulsed softly, like laughter. Hours later, Mira heard the shotgun blast. It echoed through the tunnels, distant, muffled, then silence. Mira froze, every muscle taut. Her throat closed while rising. Kara only giggled. There, the song took him. Mira sank to her knees, trembling. Jonas was gone. Silas was gone. Eli was gone. Only Kara remained. And Mira wasn't sure she hadn't been gone from the start. By the 33rd day, Mira couldn't tell if she was starving or if the city was eating her already. Her stomach clawed inward, every bone sharp beneath her skin. Kara moved closer when they rested, her breath hot against Myra's ear. "You'll have to choose," she whispered. "Me or you. One of us feeds the other. That's the way." Mira wanted to scream, wanted to deny it, but her mouth watered despite herself. Kara tilted her head, smiling, exposing her throat. "Go on. I don't mind. Either way, the city gets what it wants." Mira backed away, heart hammering. "Stay away from me." Kara only laughed, her voice rising, echoing through the tunnels until it was indistinguishable from the breathing. The dark closed in. Mira lit a match. Its tiny flare revealed Kara sitting across from her, smiling still. Blood streaked her lips, though Mira hadn't seen her eat. The match burned down. Darkness swallowed them again. Mira lit another. Kara was closer. The match burned down. Another. Closer. Myra's hands shook, the sulfur reek choking her throat. She dropped the matchbox. The last match hissed out. Darkness pressed in, thick, suffocating, and Kara's laughter filled it, low and hungry. Chapter 7. Hunger's Prayer. The dark had teeth. Mira knew at the moment the last match hissed out. It didn't simply blind her. It pressed against her, thick and damp, sliding into her lungs with every inhale. She couldn't tell where her body ended and the black began. But Kara's laughter cut through it, soft and sharp at once. "You feel it now," Kara whispered. The sound came from too close, then too far. "It's not outside. It's inside." The dark was always waiting in your chest. Mira stumbled backward, her palms scraping slick frost. "Stay away from me." "What?" "Karagiget. We're the same now. Just me waiting to breathe for it. You'll see. You'll thank me when you stop fighting." Something brushed Myra's ankle. She yelped, kicking into emptiness. Was it Kara's hand? The wall? Or something else altogether? The breathing surged, louder than before, rattling the tunnel like a drum. Hours, days, blurred. Without light, time had no shape. Hunger gnawed her belly raw. Her lips cracked until every word tasted like blood. She dreamed while awake. Eli calling her name, Silas's grin as his chest opened, Jonas whispering shoot, over and over, the shotgun never firing. And Kara, always Kara. Sometimes Mira heard her laughter far away. Sometimes she heard it right beside her ear. Sometimes she swore Kara's breath mingled with her own, two lungs pumping in one chest. She tried to crawl away once, hands scraping tile, knees bleeding. She thought she'd put distance between them, until Kara's voice came from the darkness ahead. "You can't leave me. There's nowhere else to go." Mira curled into herself, rocking, trying not to scream. The city changed around them. The tunnels pulsed hotter, slicker. Veins in the walls glowed faintly, a sickly blue like veins beneath human skin. Drops fell more steadily now, splashing in shallow pools that reeked of iron. Sometimes Mira swore she heard words in the drips. A rhythm, a chant. Inhale, exhale, feed, breathe. She pressed her palms against her ears until her nails drew blood. One time she woke to find Kara holding her, arms around her shoulders, lips against her ear, rocking her gently like a child. "Say, Kara whispered, don't cry. It's not so bad. When it takes you, it fills you. You won't be hungry anymore. You won't be alone." Mira shoved her off, screaming. Her fists swung blindly in the dark, striking flesh. Kara's laughter bubbled, turning into a cough, then silence. The silence was worse. Mira panted, fists trembling. Had she killed her? Was Kara lying there in the dark, bleeding out? She waited. Then, softly, Kara whispered, "You'll have to eat me now." Mira stopped trying to sleep. Every time her eyes closed, she saw the mound of ice again, bodies writhing, mouths opening wider than bone should allow. She saw Silas's scream cutting off, Jonas vanishing into the dark. She saw Eli's face, lips moving in prayer, but the prayer was only the city breathing. Her stomach roared. Pain carved her insides hollow. Her hands shook constantly now. She thought of Silas's words, of Kara's promise, of the body they'd left behind days ago. She thought of Kara's throat. Once when Kara leaned too close, Mira smelled her skin, salt rot blood. Her mouth watered before she even realized it. Kara noticed. Of course she noticed. "Go on," she whispered, tilting her head, her cracked lips curling. "I want you to. I want to be inside you when it takes you. Then we'll both be the song." Mira turned away, sobbing. But the hunger didn't fade. Something followed them now. Footsteps in the black, always behind, always just out of reach. At first Mira thought it was Jonas, somehow returned. Then she thought it was Silas, chest still open, smiling. But one night, if it could be called night, the thing breathed. It wasn't the city's vast inhale. It was small, human, vet, close. Kara whispered, "They want to join us." Mira clamped her hand over Kara's mouth, finally, desperate to shut her up. But the sound of that other breathing stayed. Closer. On the 36th day, they found fire again. A tunnel opened into a cavern where frost veins pulsed with faint light. At the center, a crack in the ground exhaled heat. The air shimmered, heavy with moisture. Steam rose from pools that bubbled faintly, smelling of blood and rust. Mira collapsed beside one, trembling. The heat hurt against her frozen skin, but she welcomed the pain. Kara crouched beside the crack, smiling down into its depths. "It's the mouth," she whispered. "Closer now. So close." Mira crawled toward her. Her body screamed with weakness, her stomach a hollow pit. She looked at Kara's neck, thin and pale, her pulse fluttering beneath paper skin. Her nails dug into the frost. Kara turned, smiling knowingly. "Do it." Mira lunged. They fell together, rolling against the hot stone. Kara shrieked, nails raking Myra's face. Blood spilled, hot and sweet on her tongue. Mira bit down, teeth sinking into Kara's shoulder, tearing skin. Kara laughed, even as she screamed. "Yes, yes, feed, breathe." The taste was unbearable, salt, rot, iron. Mira gagged, spitting, but hunger dragged her back. She tore again, lips smeared with Kara's blood, Kara's laughter filling the cavern. "Now you see, Karaholit, we're already food. We've always been food." Mira sobbed, shoving her away. Her hand shook, dripping red. Her stomach heaved, torn between revulsion and relief. Kara staggered upright, blood running down her arm, eyes shining like fire. "Now we're the same," she whispered. "Now you'll never leave me." They stayed near the crack for what felt like days. The heat kept them alive, though it brought no comfort. The pools bubbled louder, the steam thicker, until Mira swore she heard voices in it. Sometimes she saw figures moving across the heat shimmer, shapes like Jonas, Silas, Eli. They waved to her, smiled. Sometimes she waved back. Kara grew weaker from blood loss. Her skin turned gray, her laughter softer now, more like a wheeze. But she never stopped smiling. "Soon," she whispered, It'll take me first, then you. Then we'll breathe forever. Mira pressed her palms to her ears, but it didn't matter. The breathing was inside her now. Each inhale rattled her bones. Each exhale scraped her throat. She began to wonder if she was breathing at all, or if the city was breathing through her. One night, if nights existed anymore, Mira woke to silence. The breathing was gone. Her chest seized. She sat up, trembling, listening. Nothing. Only the drip of steam, the hiss of bubbling pools. Kara lay beside her, motionless, pale, dead. Myra's throat closed. She crawled closer, shaking Kara's shoulder. No response. The smile remained, faint and frozen. Something shifted in the steam. Mira froze. The silence shattered with a sound worse than the breathing. A vast, wet inhalation. The pools rippled. The crack widened, steaming. And from the dark below, something began to rise. Chapter 8. The mouth below. The crack split wider. Steam hissed upward, thick and red, stinking of rust and rot. The heat blasted Myra's face, baking her blood-caked skin, making her eyes sting. Beneath the roar of boiling water came the sound she dreaded most, breathing. But now it wasn't distant. It wasn't threaded through the walls. It was here. A vast inhale dragged at the steam, pulling her hair toward the crack. The exhale roared out, wet and shuddering, vibrating the stone beneath her hands. Mira clutched the ground, her stomach twisting, her head pounding. Kara's body lay beside her, pale lips frozen in their final smile. But even Kara wasn't still. Her chest rose faintly, not with her own lungs, but in time with the cavern. Each inhale puffed her corpse like a bellows. Each exhale deflated her again. Mira crawled backward, gagging. No, you're dead. Kara's lips parted, steam pouring from them. A faint whisper hissed out, thin and stretched. Stay. Mira staggered to her feet. The crack yawned wider, glowing faintly red within, like raw flesh torn open. The pools bubbled louder, splattering blood-tinged water across the cavern floor. And then she saw it. At first, she thought it was stone. Pale, ridged, slick with condensation. But as it shifted, she realized it was a tooth. The cavern wasn't a cavern. It was a mouth. She ran. Her legs carried her into the tunnels without thought. Her hands scraped slick walls. Her knees cracked against stone, but she didn't stop. She ran blind into the dark, praying for distance. Behind her, the breathing followed. Faster now, deeper, shaking the earth. The walls pulsed like throats, veins glowing faintly with each exhale. Myra's lungs burned. Hunger chewed her hollow. Weakness dragged her down, but fear pushed harder. She didn't stop until she collapsed in another chamber. This one was different. The walls weren't stone or frost. They were flesh. Smooth, glistening pink. Veins throbbed visibly, pumping dark fluid in rhythm with the breath. The floor was soft, spongy beneath her knees, slick with mucus. Mira gagged, crawling to the wall. She pressed her hand against it, trembling. Warm, alive. And it pulsed in time with her heartbeat. No, she whispered. No. She tried to crawl back toward the tunnel, but it was gone. The passage she'd entered had closed, swallowed by rippling tissue. She was inside. Time died again.